Well, I gave no notice, so I'll wait a minute and see if someone pops on here. And if not, I'll just go ahead. Well, hello, how are you? I did not give a notice. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm not very techy, but hello. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a great day, actually. It's really beautiful where I'm at. So, seem to have upset an awful lot of people about my video with Randy Hass. And first off, I want to apologize for that video. I had done a previous video on him. Hello, how are you, Leanne? I had done a previous video on him before, and I was like, he was the officer that was charged with the inappropriate pictures of children and was let go of his position. Hello, how are y'all? And when I had contacted another creator and was asking, I couldn't remember who the person was, and y'all remember, I'm sure, back at the very beginning of Summer's disappearance, they were talking about, this man that had charges on him, and he was over in that area using the internet. Turns out it was at Jody Sue's house, as a matter of fact. And I couldn't remember the guy's name, and I was kind of going back. Hello, TJ. Went back a little ways, just trying to like re-examine everything, right? So I contacted a creator, and he told me the name, and I about fell over because that person was Randy Hass, the police officer. And so I'm apologizing for it. Right. Yes. Randy Hass. And when I found that out, that's who it was, and I had done a previous video on him, I about fell over. And the reason the video quality was so poor is I was just like beside myself with this information. And I was having guests come over, and I was in the process of like melting chocolate down, and I was too hyped up about the information not to try to get it out right then and there. And it could have waited, but I didn't. I jumped the gun. I was cooking chocolate in the background, stirring to make sure it didn't burn on the bottom. So I'm publicly apologizing to y'all for the quality, but a lot of people are very upset about that. So please accept my apology for that. I mean, I just was shocked when I found out that's who it was, because that was kind of a big deal to me, so. And so anytime I find out something new about Summer, we all are just like on pins and needles. Any little new, hey Nana, any information that comes out, we're just like pouncing on it. We want to hear anything new about Summer, because we're all so desperate for that information, because we've been just sitting around listening to the same stuff for almost 9 months now. And, and we're just trying to figure it out. I mean, and this whole thing with Grandus's interview, that just muddied the water, made everything. Well, thank you. I'm trying to do better. I've never been on YouTube before. Summer went missing. When I got that Amber Alert for her, I was like, there was just, I got a grandkids. She's in between my grandchildren's ages. And so there was just something about her that just, obviously she captivated everyone. We all care about this little girl. So, and I started a YouTube channel just because everybody got sick of hearing me talk about it over here at home. And not that they were not compassionate and everything. It's just like I was following every little detail like y'all, and people were like, you're really getting too deep into this. And I'm like, well, I can't. Hey, Jennifer, how are you today? I couldn't just, hold it all in because, it, it was getting to me. I was, you got to have like an outlet to discuss these things. She's very important to me. It's important to me that she's found. It's important to me that the appropriate people are charged in this case. Grandus just really, like I said, muddied the water for me. It just created more problems for me, more questions, more, everything. Um, and I'm sure it did for y'all too. I feel sure. Um, but this is my backup channel. So I want to make sure that I give y'all as much attention as my other channel, because when I first started, just kind of giving you all a background, when I first started, I didn't know anything. And I still, compared to everybody that's on here, I don't know anything. I mean, really, I'm not very techy, but I'm learning. I got some people helping me, thankfully. But Molly Golightly, within my first 2 weeks, I used clips from her, and I didn't even know who Molly Golightly was. I mean, no clue, none. Boy, did I learn fast. You can't even use a clip from them without them just slamming you. And and I see everyone all over the internet talking about them. Well, I learned I learned that firsthand. And thank you, Jennifer, I appreciate that. She I contacted her and I was like, hey, look, I'm new. I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't know what I could use, what I couldn't use. Other people were using clips, and I didn't know. It was ignorance. And I explained that to her. And she said she understood. And she said, we're good, we're cool. How she talks, we're cool. And I was like, okay, well, listen, if you don't mind. No, she never did take it back. And she promised me, I understand you're new, you didn't know. I'm not going to hold it against you. I'll retract the strikes. Well, she never did. So on my main channel, if I get one strike, so I'm very careful. I don't even use clips anymore. I will watch something, and if I want to relay it onto you, I just tell you. Like I'll give you an example, like the misunderstanding about David Rader. People were saying that he said that Summer's body was moved, and that wasn't what he was saying. What he was saying is simply that they don't like to put out into the public that areas that have been cleared, because if they do that, and there's somebody out there in the world who is criminal minded, may say, oh, well, that place is cleared, but I got this problem over here, and so we're going to move it over to the place that's cleared. And that's all he was saying. So like, and someone asked me, well, why didn't you show the clip? And that's the reason I didn't show the clip, because I can't take that chance to get a strike, because, and it's not even about like views or anything like that. It's just I've been to Kingsport, and I've been to Rogersville, and invested a lot of my, hello, hey, how are you? I'm so glad you're here. And it's just that I've just invested so much of my personal energy into Summer, that, I just don't want to lose that content. So, and it's not about views or anything. Like I said, it's just simply that I want to, everything that I have looked into and everything, I don't want to lose that. So, but I did share this yesterday on my other channel, but I felt like, that I wanted to share it with y'all too, because I don't think I have the same people on both channels. Oh, I guarantee you. I was actually, I thought, well, maybe with talking to you, Jennifer, um, I thought, well, maybe she's not like as bad as everybody's saying. Oh, she's got to be, there's got to be kindness in there. I mean, she treated me with like, yes, exactly. Exactly. And so I came on and I cleared that up. I'm like, dude, we got to stop this rumor right here, right now, because there's already so much garbage out there about Summer that we just need to stick to facts. And I think that's very important, very, very important. So, um, hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad y'all are here. And, but I promise to give y'all my undivided attention here as well. So, and I just started doing lives, so that's why I don't have very many. It's just like 2 days. so, so this is like new to me, and but if y'all bear with me, I promise I will try to continue to improve. And I apologize for the cooking video. And I messed it all up. The audio was bad, but like I said, I was just in shock that that's who the person was down there using the internet. So, yeah, playing a script. Amen to that, Miss Robin. Yep, for sure. And didn't it seem like to y'all that and this is my opinion, of course, that when Grandus was doing that interview, didn't it look like she was like really having to concentrate on what she was saying? Like there was parts of it that seemed like, you know, she had no problems with, but then when she was trying to remember the cactus planting and the series that Dawn and Candus has pushed for so long, it seems to me that she was trying to remember what to say there, and that's just my opinion. I don't think she was being. I don't think anybody's been completely honest, and that goes for Allie and Hunter, and everybody has told a lie here and there. Yeah, yeah. I just really want to stick with things that I know that are pretty much factual. Yeah, she couldn't exactly. I'm going to put that up there because that's it. And I don't think that anybody is really remembering it, overall, everything that they're saying. And that's why Candus isn't talking because, I mean, she had to write a note, y'all, a note. I mean, come on. I mean, your child's missing. If my child was missing, I would be like standing outside of the news channel waiting for them to open up or whatever they do and say, talk to me, let me be on TV. I want my child found. And that's not happening here. And it's really sad because I think Summer deserves a lot more than she's gotten. And it made me so angry to see Candus complaining about little Michael Vaughn's mother getting attention. My gosh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the note. Oh my God. Yeah. And you know, um, she Summer has had a lot of publicity. She's had a lot of different agencies coming in looking for her. So the fact that they chose not to utilize those properly, then they can only blame themselves, in my opinion. That's not anyone else's fault. That is only their fault. And they're the ones that have created this big mockery. They're the ones going on the lives, going on the panels, drunk and high and doing drugs and cussing and fighting. And it's disgusting. It's just disgusting. And it really upsets me. It really does. There's so many people out there that would give their left arm, their right arm to take that little girl in and give her a good home. I mean, it's like, ridiculous what these kids have gone through. And I don't just think that that Summer's gone through stuff. I think those boys have gone through stuff. They've witnessed all these creeps in and out of the house, and all the offenders that come around the house. And well, I mean, you could really say that there's offenders right there in the home, in my opinion. Dawn hasn't gone to court about that, but I think we definitely all can agree that I believe that that the people that have come forward, I believe what they say over Dawn all day long. And then you've got Candus, who you know allegedly allegedly had relations with Hunter, and in my opinion it probably did happen. And then and then we had the other little boy, if y'all know about him, that she had to her house and was providing alcohol and stuff for him there. And the father called and said, "Bring my son home." And she said no. And that's probably because she was drunk herself. And he ended up calling the law to get them involved, and picked up their son. Do y'all remember that? That was a little ways back, but that came out. It's just, I'm gonna put that up there because it's like so many people in that area absolutely have that issue. I think the light guy, I'm not, Lawson says nobody's ruled out, right? So, but we know we got the light guy that's got those charges. We got Sherfy that's got those charges, both in the area. Now, the light guy, I will say, I heard, and I'm not 100% on this, so we'll just say allegedly, was cutting trees like 3 or 4 miles down the road when, oh yeah, you ain't kidding. And he evidently was talked to and I guess accounted for. So, but until I hear that out of the police officer's mouth, or law enforcement, if I hear that myself, then I will definitely rule him out in my mind. But yeah, and you think about what Jennifer says here. As a child, wouldn't you be terrified? I mean, I know that the boys in summer, that's their norm. I know that's what they were used to, and it is everywhere. And summer has opened my eyes to a lot of things. I didn't realize that trafficking and I'm working on a trafficking video, or I'll go live with it actually. But I did have one on, and I took it off because I wanted to to do it better justice. So I'm working on that. I'm gathering more information, but she kind of opened my eyes just from all the theories. I was like, man, is that really a thing? And y'all, it's huge. It is mind blowing. And for days, I was messed up in the head over that, those arrests in Vermont that I did a video on. That messed me up. Cannot believe that people are doing that to our children. And I've said it before. I think that like all of us that are out here in the world that are not that way, that if we ever see anything suspicious, I think we should like definitely step in, or at least call the proper authorities, Um, but yeah, this has just been overwhelming. Um, and just the inconsistencies. And then you think it can't get any stranger, and then it does. Uh, I'll tell you what I'll do if y'all are interested. I'll throw this link up here if anyone would like to come up and talk. I did want to, and I don't know why, as long as I've been following this case, why I didn't really know about this woman. But her name is Lisa Kay. Y'all know who she is? Do y'all know who she is? Well, she's evidently still a friend of Rose Bly's ex-husband. And she was friends with Rose as well. I know. I agree with you because, and okay, before I get into this whole other thing, when I first started following Summer's story, and I actually contacted Scott H because he's a world of knowledge, that man. So if y'all don't know his channel, is Scott H Has Thoughts. I heard he didn't know about it. He hadn't heard it. But there was a woman that was on a live that lived in the area, and she was talking about a warehouse that, and see, the details are fuzzy for me. I don't recall if she said that there was a pedophile ring working out of that warehouse, and that it was getting busted, and that there were people higher up involved in it, and before that it got busted, it moved, and that it had been cleaned heavily. So, and I just started thinking, oh my gosh, what is going on in the world? Because, I was an overprotective mom of my kids, and they hated me for that, but my kids never got gone, and I'm thankful for that. Now I worry about my grandchildren. So I guess, yeah, he is. And I've actually talked to Don B several times on the phone, and I really need to give him another call. I haven't talked to him in a little while. I like him a lot too. Yeah. Yeah. I'm learning to multitask a little bit. Like I said, I'm not real techie, but I'm learning a little bit. And I think it's not a bad thing to be overprotective, especially nowadays. You don't know who these people are. They could be anyone. I spoke with the National Center for Missing Children and Exploited Children, and they said it could be anyone. It could be your pastor. It could be a judge. It could be a doctor, which I did a story about a doctor in Rogersville that was arrested for that. Well, yeah, he was actually straight up. He was. So if you want to go back and have a look at that, he's a pretty sick man too. But it seems like there's a lot of birds of a feather flocking together. Hey, Lisa. And you may hear some repeat, Lisa. But yeah, a lot of birds of the feather, which makes me wonder greatly, and this is purely my opinion, why Tim Mullins is in this so deeply. He bothers me to a deep level. There's just something about him that just does not sit right with me. But all right, so I did want to go over this with y'all. Like I said, I did share this on my other channel, but I want to make sure y'all get to hear this too, because a lot of this I remember. There's a couple things that I didn't know, so I wanted to share that. So They absolutely did, because Don was down there quite a bit when he was growing up. Yes, Jennifer, very, very odd man. And, you know, and I got to tell you, some of his videos, like him walking around, like, let me see if I can put my hand on that quote he said. Oh, he says, floods bring in the trash, and that's what rivers are for, is to wash out all the trash. I thought, what a odd thing to say. Who thinks like that? I mean, that's what floods bring in all the trash, and that's what rivers are for. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to really start analyzing your lingo too, but he's thrown himself right in the mix, and it bothers me. But anyways, we'll definitely talk about Tim Mullen again. I can promise you that. um, but so, like I was saying, that Lisa was a mutual friend between Rose and, yes, very morbid things. I agree with you. I'm just going to throw that up there, Sky Z. Give some people to, yeah, the Sandman, right? Tim is the Sandman. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Isn't that a creepy thought? Let's just throw that one up there too. It's a creepy thought. Oh, help me. This just, the oddities on this case is just beyond belief. So, okay. So, like I said, Lisa is a mutual friend of Rose and her husband. And did everyone hear that Candus's sister Jeannie, not Dawn's stepsister, but Candus's sister Jeannie, had like an affair with Rose's husband? Um, so that did happen. So that did go on. But one thing that I didn't know, and I thought is kind of relevant, that he had actually filed divorce. Oh no, I surely hope not. Yes, you heard that too. Okay, so he had actually filed divorce from her like weeks before she went missing. I mean, yes. And then she talked him out of divorcing her. It's like, no, no, stay with me, please, please stay with me, And so he decided to withdraw that. Well, after a couple weeks, and then she went missing, he thought that she had run off with somebody. So when she did that and she didn't come back, he went ahead and proceeded with the divorce filing. So, and was granted the divorce. And he left the divorce open. I mean, he did get custody, primary custody, but he left it open so that if she came back, that she could contest it and get visitation with the kids, but she never came back. And this lady, Angela, this lady says, Elisa, says that, he still wants her back. He's never remarried. So, but he wants her to come back for the girls or the kids, because I guess they're getting to the age where it's making a difference in their life, So she did say she knew Candus's side of the family better than Dawn's. She doesn't know them personally, but she does know. Let's see, what. Yeah, I don't know if he went on any panels. I never saw that. I never heard that he did. That would be an interesting person to talk to, wouldn't it? I may reach out to him, see. You have seen him in chats? Oh, that's interesting. That's somebody I would like to talk to for sure. But she did say, oh, is he weird? Oh, Gee. Huh. Well, gosh. Gosh. Man, that doesn't surprise me for some reason. Um, but like I was saying, that she knows. Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? She knows Candace's side of the family better than Dawn's. She did explain, and we can agree, right or wrong. I'm sure we all have strong opinions about this, but he said Donnie Jr., Dawn's first son, was 18 years old. Hello, do our Didi. And that he was actually living with his 14-year-old girlfriend at the time. So they were like in some kind of relation. They were in a relationship living together, but the parents were the ones that uh, pressed the charges on him. And this is kind of messed up, y'all. I didn't know this. Maybe y'all did, but I'll go ahead and throw it out there anyway. So he was given 3 years for that relationship. And after serving 1 year, he was told that he could be released into his parents' care, which would have been Pam and Dawn. Well, they were too strung out on drugs for that to happen. So he ended up serving the remaining 2 years. So he served all 3 years because his parents were strung out on drugs. I mean, he could have served the last 2 years on probation, but I'm sure he's got some bitter thoughts about Mr. Donald Wells, in my opinion. But um, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I find it pretty credible that he had sold his or traded his first two kids for drugs, because Pam hysterically went to Mary and was like hysterical. Oh, Donnie did this. Donnie did this. And she had to go to the drug dealer's house and get the kids. I mean, geez, who does that? It's it it is just terrible. I mean, the tragedy in this case with Summer and everyone, it's endless. It's just tragic all the way around, all the way around. Um, but I did want to bring up, because and I forgot completely about this Chris Marcos. I mean, I forgot about him completely, but I did want to put this out because he's got his own charges. But when he was staying he was staying on 110 Ben Hill Road, and when Dawn and Candus came to stay on that property, that's when he moved out of state. And on his background checks, it does say that he was residing somewhere else. So yeah, Mary was willing to take them in, and Pam wouldn't let him. I mean, why not? Why not give all of these kids a better opportunity in life? I mean, even Candus's boys, at this point, they have to be settling in and getting some kind of normality to their life. Why rip them from that? I heard that they were moving forward in school, and you're welcome. And they're getting counseling, and it's obvious. I mean, Candus isn't even embracing the counseling that she's been getting. She's not working that program. So, and she's not gone through any kind of parenting classes or drug rehabilitations, and she's been strung out on drugs her whole life. It's not going to go away. I don't know. I think they deserve a chance. I mean, Summer God forbid something happened terrible to her and we don't have good feelings. Um, you know, I mean, at least give them a chance. Yeah. Yeah, Crystal. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they had a falling out for sure. Maybe revenge to Candus. Who knows? I mean, this, you just never know, Muffin Top. But Rose was watching Candace's kids way back, and she actually called CPS on Candace. So that had to have been bad. I mean, because from my understanding, Rose wasn't shy to partying. You know what I mean? But uh, this woman wasn't really aware of the abuse of Candace's first two children. But she said that the boy does have some kind of a learning disability or some kind of a disability. Um, and he's like 22, 23 years old now. And then, when they were taken into foster care, and tell me why somebody would take these children and raise them and then stick them back into foster care in 2016. God, I mean, and I know foster care is not like the most ideal situation for any child, but if I think I would rather them be there than at Dawn and Candace's house. Yeah. And Tim, that's what really just flew all over me. One, he's really trashing Chris Madonna, and I think Chris Madonna gave us the biggest insight into Dawn and Candace's life, period, of anyone other than them showing us who they are on YouTube. But he's downplaying. He's calling it what did he call? Just pretty much just rumors, stories, that it's not reality. Well, I'm sorry. Hey, Nellie, welcome. um, I'm sorry that this Christian man is supposed to be Christian man and caring about people, and and he's like dismissing the SA victims of Dawn Wells, and he's sticking up for them. There's something wrong with that, you know? And like, why would he be standing up for them over people that they've actually hurt in their lives? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's very disturbing. I just find it all very odd. Um, but little Candy, we'll call her. She did run away twice from that foster home. So I mean, maybe it wasn't like the best, but better than where they were, I think, probably. And so I wanted to talk about, yeah, very disturbing, very. And Grandus, this is kind of a good insight. I thought this was very good insight as far as Grandis goes, because, she has been tight lipped and doesn't talk about much of anything. And then when she opens her mouth, she just like stirs the pot for me. But when her kids were like preteen, she left them. She left her husband, she left her kids, took off with her girlfriend. Well, hi, Christy B. Um, took off to Las Vegas with with her girlfriend, and so she ended up staying with that woman for like 15 or 20 years. But it's kind of, she was described as a very cold person, and I don't think that that's very hard for us to believe. I have no problems believing that. She's not been there for Candace, not even when she was young. She wasn't close to any of her kids. And The kids themselves were not very close, and they weren't close to their father. They all have some sort of a detachment thing, where they they just like don't develop those relationships. And um and you got to look at just the way that Candace can lose her first kids, and then you know give them up for adoption, and now lost these, and we've not seen any emotion really, in my opinion. I mean, we've seen emotion over Dawn and him talking to women, but I haven't seen a whole lot of attention, emotion towards the kids. And what's it it's even think about this. Okay, so when Chris Madonna did his interview with her, she just lost the boys the day before. I know, no, this is allege, you know. Um, but this is coming from someone that was friends with Rose and her husband. But so she was described as a very cold person, and to me that's not a stretch. She left. She never did plead for Summer. She didn't stay to support Candus. And I would think if my child came up missing, I would need that support from my mother. Um, me personally. My mother's gone, and I would give anything just for the littlest things to have her here to support me over this and that. But she says that Candace wasn't close to her mother, not close to her father, not close to her siblings. And like I said, it's like an emotional detachment disorder that they all have. And I have heard this before, but I wasn't, I'm glad that I heard it again, because I forgot all about this. Grandus is, hello, Rachel. We're doing good. I hope you are. Grandus is not allowed around any of her other grandkids except for Dawn and Candace's. And, it just makes me wonder why. I mean, I guess, they could have hard feelings towards their mom for leaving them. I'm sure that they have issues with that. But it is weird that you don't want your kids to be around their grandmother, to me. And this I did not know. Did y'all know? And this is, of course, according to this Lisa, who knows Rose and all that, the whole family, that Grandus would go and harass little Candy, Candace's first daughter, at her job. Like, why would she do that? I mean, they weren't even around her entire life. Like, why would she go, if this is true? I wouldn't either, I honestly. If it's true, why would she go do that to that girl? I mean, has she not had enough in her life? I mean, you got to go add salt to the wound. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's my opinion. And I did jot this down just because I thought maybe y'all might find it interesting. I was trying to see if Tim Mullen had some kind of somehow connected, and I got a whole thing on Tim, but I just, I'm not there yet. But I just thought y'all might be interested in Dawn and Candace's aliases. Hello, Muffin Top. because they're so strange. I mean, of course they have variations of their own name: Candace Bly, Candace Wells Bly, all that Candy, and same with Dawn. But Candace has used William Goad as an alias, and I thought that was really strange. I mean, which we know that's Dawn's stepdad, so maybe it's not so strange. But check out Don's aliases, besides all his variations. He's got a Ronald Bavaro, and what's weird is his son has also used that name. So I thought that was kind of interesting. He's got a Barbara Yeager and a Latasha Jefferson. How weird is that? I don't know. I know. I'll just tell y'all things that I find interesting, and if you don't, just let it roll on off. But now we know that Grandus abandoned Candus in Arkansas, right? We know that. And yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, they do. They do. They got like all kinds of names. I mean, usually it's just like your name, maybe your maiden name, something like that. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Just especially that two of Dawn's was women. Weird. Anyway, um, but when Grandus abandoned Candus in Arkansas, now I recently heard she was Manda's. Oh, be good. That she was homeless down there when she met Dawn. But Dawn and Pam were still married when he was in Arkansas. Can you imagine? I just got to throw this out there because I just thought, can you imagine in all of the world, Dawn coming from Utah, Candace from Wisconsin, and they meet in Arkansas? What are the odds? What are the odds? Oh my God. Yeah. 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 I I think I mean Dawn's like really really jealous of Benny, and I think Benny's doing really the right thing by backing off from Candace. I mean, in my opinion. I mean, he's supposed to be friends of both, so I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'm just glad I'm not in that situation. But Pam and Dawn were still married, and Candace actually had two kids, their oldest two kids with Dawn before Dawn and Pam got actually divorced. Um, Not a surprise. And I did hear, now I don't know if this is true. I'll have to look that up for you, Rachel. Um, I don't really see that she's got like a record, not Grandus, but I mean, not that I've been able to find, but um, who knows? And we know she drank, she drinks and pain pills and stuff, but I did hear, and like I said, this is just rumor, so don't quote me on it. It's not fact. There's no proof to it, but I did hear that she had twins in Arkansas before her and Dawn met and started having kids together. And they both were, just for the record, in Arkansas when Rose went missing. So you heard she did too? Yeah, I mean, she's had a lot of kids, right? I mean, it's just spits them out. I hate to say it like that, but mercy. And I did hear that. Well, I'd heard that Candace had a heart defect and moved back to Wisconsin to get that fixed. But I don't know that I heard that she was married. She was born in Texas. Have y'all heard that? You probably have. I'm probably behind, but there's so many facts out there. It's just you can't even believe it. But Candace was in special education growing up, and I think honestly, where are all the kids? Yeah, I mean, who knows where they are? That's why I'm saying we don't know for sure. That's just something that I have heard fairly recently, that she had twins. She probably gave them up. I mean, I don't know. Um, that's an interesting thought. Is he, because Chris mentioned that people would start distancing? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his motive is, but I mean, I think maybe, he doesn't want people to think that they have some kind of relationship, because I don't think they ever have. Um, I don't think that was ever on the table for Benny. Do y'all? Yeah, yeah. Yep. Yep, she did. She had the first two, and then a baby girl that was put up for adoption. But I would love to know. I did try to reach out to a couple people that were on her friends list in Arkansas, just to try to, but I haven't had any luck with anyone, getting back with me, you know. Yeah, well, yeah, she had drugs in her system with her first two kids. She had methamphetamine. She was strung out on meth with her first two children, according to this woman. So that's really not hard for me to believe. That's a very good point, and that could be why they took off. I mean, maybe part of it was, you know, her Don coming to take care of his mom, but that could be part of it too, you know? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. Who's a troll? Yeah, I did see that. I did hear that when she gave that little girl up, it was taken straight from the hospital. I heard it was true. Troll, troll, troll. Who's trolling? Is somebody trolling? Somebody trolling? I don't know. I just learned how to block people yesterday. I was getting, people kept saying bot, bot. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Bot? What's a bot? And I finally learned how to block those. But anyway, so I think it's probably a good chance that Grandus probably drank when she was pregnant with her kids. I think that's probably a realistic idea. We don't know that's true though, you know. But oh, I did want to tell y'all. I don't know if y'all heard um, that. I never heard of this guy before, but Candus appeared on this Jimmy's channel, and I think his channel's name is. I think he used to be friends. This is what a sub told me. He used to be friends with Ernie Shell, and I guess he found out what he's really like, and now he's turned on Ernie Shell, and now he's got a channel, and it's called like Predator of Predators Hunters Nation. Or something like that. So, but she was on there, and there was something she was. This is when she was saying that she's in love with Dawn, but she loves him, but she's not in love with him. That one, right? And I didn't know that about BK. I'm not going to comment on that because I didn't know. So I'll let y'all talk about that one. But she was saying he doesn't trust me, and it's something about dating and stuff. And she said, and y'all can go back and listen to it, because she said this. She said, um, I had gone on a date with an extra friend or something like that. And I just thought that was kind of a strange little comment. Uh, yeah, Ernie does. Who sold fake masks? What? Who, Ernie did? Is that who you're talking about, Jennifer? Yeah, he really. And why? 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 I don't understand, like inserting yourself in so much, right, Angie? Um, it's like the Tim Mullen, it's like the Jody Sue. It's like, why? Yeah, Ernie. Yeah, exactly. Jennifer, yes. I don't understand it. I mean, does it make sense to y'all? Because, like, okay, I did go to Rogersville and Kingsport. I did that on my own. No monetization, no asking for people. It was out of my own pocket. And this was at like sort of like a grandma, just, wanting to kind of like better understand like the whole dynamics of their day and everything. And yeah, things are spinning out of control for sure. And, you know, and I got, okay. So okay, I'll get back to that, but she started her YouTube channel. Okay, I think that's probably an outlet for her, and she's wanting to meet people. She's, I think she's probably lonely. It's probably the first time in a long time that she's been alone. She's had kids around her. Um, and I think that like when she came on that one night, I don't know if y'all saw it. I just happened to just pop in on it, and she was there, and she was drinking, and she was singing that country song like "Never Be Lonely" or whatever. And you know she was like in some kind of a state. She was definitely in an emotional state. And right in the middle of the song, she got a text from somebody. I'm assuming, I'll just take a stab at this one. Um, oh my gosh. That it was Tim. More than likely, because he's watching every move, and instantly she took it down. And I think honestly, it's like if she wants to talk on there, let her talk. I mean, we haven't heard her for almost 9 months. Geez, I want to hear what she's got to say. How about y'all? Do you? I want to hear. And I don't think it's right for him to be controlling her YouTube. He wanted to control Cam and Allie's YouTube. Explain that one to me. Yes, I agree with you. I think if she had a lawyer, they would definitely be telling her to. Did I not put that up there? That they would be telling her to stay off of YouTube. I'm sure of that. Oh no. Oh, oh my gosh. Yeah, and he was really, I think personally that he was talking about Prayer Garden in one of his videos. He was talking about somebody using Dawn and trying to get information and then just to put it out there. I don't know. I personally think that that Dawn and Prayer Garden, in my opinion, because she defended him to the end of the world for a while there, and just slammed Candus, saying, she's the one, she did that to her daughter and everything, but now she's against. Oh, you thought? Well, that was my second thought. Yeah, that was my second thought, Jennifer. It was either, I didn't know if he was talking about her share or Prayer Garden. Either or, you know what I mean? They both have, but honestly, say what you want, and I don't know what the initial interest in John Wells was, but she's gotten a lot of information out of him too. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Rachel, is that I heard that she had a set of twins, but we don't know if that's true or not. So I just said it's just rumor. But who knows? You just never know with this group of people. Um, but I can tell you this, in my opinion, if they didn't directly have something to do with Summer's disappearance, they did indirectly because, hey, Kate, because they allowed all kinds of people up on that hill around their children, their small children, and SOs. I mean, Frank Light's been up there. Jose stayed there. Uh, you know, um, and I've heard rumors of parties and things like that, and people. It's just kind of like a flop house at times, and there's no telling what these kids have really seen. Um, it's probably way more than we can even imagine, in my opinion. And these poor children, um, I'm sure they've got some kind of post-traumatic stress, in my opinion. And that's what, I think that's why I think that they need to be very careful about putting these kids back in that home. And I think that Candus might be on her best behavior and all of that, but they're traumatized, you know? Yes, and we talked about that. That Don, yeah, yeah, sold his first kids. Yeah, we talked about that, and I don't really have a problem. It's not a stretch of the imagination for me, just based on everything I've seen. And we got, Don Wells. He's scared of Frank Light, out of his own mouth. He's out of his own mouth. He is, bathed with all of the kids. I've heard it come out of his own mouth. Um, and calling their children horrible names and alleged physical abuse, and just even not even talking about the physical abuse of them, but it's traumatic for them to see Dawn and Candus fist fighting and all the, who knows what these kids have seen. I mean, it's alarming to say the least. And I really hope that they're in a good foster home. I heard two of the boys are in one and the oldest is in a separate one. But I really hope that they're being patient with them, because what they've learned about home life is not the average home. They've grown up in some subpar, you know. Tim Mullen fits into June Mullen, or Tim Mullen fits into a script. My opinion. Yeah, right. I just, and it's sad. It's really sad. And I think on some level they probably do care about their kids. I mean, I think so. I mean, they have to, right? On some level. But in my opinion, they have put, I don't even know that they really put their own personal relationship. They don't seem to work on that very much, but their drug use and their partying ahead of the needs of the kids. And that's really sad to me. We've heard that Allie would buy food for the house, and you don't think so. What don't you think? Did I miss something? Dodging bullets. What did I miss? What don't you agree with? And that's fine if you don't agree with me, because I think that, it's very important for all of us to be able to have our own opinions and take on this, because if everybody thought the same way, then what would be the sense in us trying to talk about things and trying to figure things out? I think it's good and healthy for us to hear, oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. I gotcha. But they neither one grew up knowing what real love is. I mean, it may be just the best that they could do, but not really, because at some point you have to grow up and you have to take responsibility for your own actions. Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, I mean, it was okay if you disagreed with me. That's what I was trying to say. That, you know, the differences of opinions is what sparks conversation. And, I think I, even if I don't agree with some people's takes, I still appreciate hearing their opinion, because, it does make me think about things or rethink things. So, I mean, that's important. I mean, if we were all the same, it'd be a really dull world. It's okay, Christy. You can go back and listen. But yeah, I mean, maybe love them the best of their ability, but not really, because they put drugs and alcohol before their kids. Um, I did hear, and there was a lot. Okay, I'll say this. Do y'all remember when that woman came on Ziggy's channel and uh, felt like sort of a moral obligation to talk about what she knew about Dawn and Candus, and the alleged abuse in the home, about them not being clean and not. Oh yeah, I heard that. Not being clean and not being fed. And, in all honesty, if they're partying, they're probably up all hours of the night. They were struggling in school. And I think about poor Summer having to sleep in that basement. Oh Lord. And I'm not judging like a cluttered home or anything like that. I'm really not. There's a lot of people in a small house, but when Chris went down those stairs, my mouth dropped open and I was heartbroken. I raised 3 children. I have 2 grandchildren, and if you try to think of one of your own children sleeping in a condition like that, it's heartbreaking. And it doesn't seem like a very inviting place for a little girl to want to go down and play. And yes, and Don admitted himself that he slept with Summer every night since she was born. And you're right, Jennifer. And I'm going to post that because it doesn't matter. Like my dad was so poor growing up. His dad died when he was a baby, and he left the way that he left everything in his will. They just lived in like a little tiny, and I mean tiny, this is country tiny, little 3-bedroom house, had like 8 kids. And my grandmother would have to go and hunt the land. I mean, there's pictures of her in overalls and carrying a shotgun, and she would hunt, and they would garden, and just poor. And so being poor doesn't mean being nasty. She was neat as a pin. All the way up. She was almost 100. She was about to be 100 years old when she passed, and neat as a pin. You can go look in her little tiny bedroom, and neat as a pin. Didn't have a lot of stuff, but it wasn't nasty. And so being poor doesn't mean you're nasty, And yes, and if there's love in your home, it makes a huge difference. And, you know, and I'll say this, just the way that they describe Summer. She loved to swing. She loved to twirl. She loved dirt. She loved to swim. She loved to run. They couldn't answer small things. Yeah, this was a very disturbing. I'm going to post that. This was a very disturbing comment from Dawn. He's never been loved like that before. That's sick. I'm sorry. Just based on his, and he didn't really express any of those kind of sentiments about the boys or his first two children. Just incredibly sad. It's heartbreaking. And love makes a huge difference. And just the little tiny facts that they're not able to tell about Summer, like, I mean, my grandkids, they live in another state, and I don't get to see them as often as I want, but I can tell you little details about their personality, how they are. And I don't hear either one of them really saying like those little special details. Summer loved Frozen, and yeah, the filthy mattress, absolutely. And someone said, well, maybe the dogs were sleeping on it. I mean, with as many dogs as they have, it's quite possible. But this was when, and it blew my mind, he did an interview with the news channel, and that leaned up against the house. And it drew a lot of attention. But in my opinion, I think that came out of the house. I don't think that it was something that the dogs were sleeping on. It's very sad. And you notice in the pictures, the kids didn't have pillows. I didn't really see, comforters and blankets. And yes, you're right. I'm going to post that. He says grooming words, in my opinion, and in Muffin Top's opinion. But it's our opinion. And it's only an opinion. But, and even just like the music that they, like I was thinking back when my kids might have grown all out. But, like 5 years old, we were like singing kids songs going down the road and stuff like that, It's just so heartbreaking. And I'll say this, no matter what anyone's opinions or theories or, any differences that we have, we all want Summer found. And, if for some miracle, this far-fetched story that they've told with the missing time, and now maybe even Grandma didn't go swimming with them because she didn't seem to really know 100%. She said Summer went, no comforters, nothing pretty. And, I'm really, really glad that, I didn't 100% agree with everything Dr. Phil said, but I appreciate the fact that he showed Summer's bedroom before and not just that quick pull together that they did for the show. And it is heartbreaking. And if Summer showed up tomorrow, I would take that baby in and I would just pamper her, and I would, Summer has absolutely captured everyone's heart all over the world. And, you know, I think that Little Summer has, because of all of us YouTubers that people hate and people talk about interfering with the investigation, there's one thing we've done, and that is kept her name out there. And I kind of feel like that because of that, it's applied pressure to the law enforcement in the area. And I don't know how y'all feel about that, but and Summer has brought so many people. Uh, who's Peter? Who? What does that mean? Track who? What does that mean? Peter, what does that mean? Are you talking about me? Are you talking about trolling me? Who are you talking about? um, I don't know, but I'm, you know, and I, is he a troll? Peter, are you a troll? Really? I'm so disappointed. We might could have been friends. Well, I guess we'll just get rid of you, Peter. Bye. Oh Lord. Anyway, but she's brought so many people all over the world together, um, and brought a lot of awareness. A lot of awareness for me personally. You know, like I said, I am doing like a thing on sex trafficking. I didn't realize that was such a big thing. It's sickening. And you know, they brand our children. They tattoo them to show whose property they are, and it's disgusting. And I kind of feel like since pedophiles, yeah, I said the word. I got to work on that. But since these pedos can't change their way of thinking or control their behaviors, that one way that would give us all a little heads up is like, let's tattoo something on their forehead or something, or on their hand or something to identify them, because I know that just in the stuff that I've been studying and reading and listening, and in the stories that come out that people made it out, I don't know how they do it. There's got to be something that we can do to help protect our children more than we are. And maybe somebody did come up there and take Summer, but it's not a stranger. I've been out in that area, and I can promise you strangers aren't driving down that road. It's people that live in the area, people that are visiting in the area, and it would be somebody that's very familiar with that home and the people that live there. So one thing I'm 100% about, in my opinion, is there was no stranger abduction. And all the other details are just so foggy because nobody can tell the truth. Not Candus, not Grandus, not Dawn, not the neighbors, not Fred Hill. He's like messing with Ziggy when he was down there. I could tell by looking at those bones that was a deer jaw. That was not human remains. I knew that. He was messing with her. He's from the country. He knew that. And just all the games. Jody Sue saying all kinds of stuff, but not really saying a whole lot. It's just on and on and on. And one thing I know is, well, I got to have a little hope here. I got to hope that because the law's been back out there recently, that maybe they've got a lead. Maybe they're going somewhere finally. Maybe they're looking at something that will give us some answers. And I hope some justice happens. And the best case scenario for me would be that someone, and I unfortunately don't really believe this, but the best case scenario is someone knew that she wasn't being treated properly on that property, and maybe someone took her somewhere safe. That would be the best case scenario. But there's so many unanswered questions, and we don't really know the answers yet. So I really wish that I could have been asking Grandus questions. There would have been a whole lot more questions than what Ansley asked. I would have wanted to know, what kind of groceries did y'all get? Because she's saying now 3 boys and Summer helped take them in. Well, I only saw milk, and that milk picture really bothers me. And I'm glad to hear, I heard Chris Madonna is taking that photo and letting some of his people examine it. And I'm really glad to hear that. I don't know who examined it in the first place, but it didn't look right. It didn't feel right. And Candus says she got milk and cheese in and out 5 minutes. Hunter says an hour. It's like, who do you believe? It's like your head can spin. You just don't know. Well, I do know one thing. Summer deserves to be found and deserves justice. I think we all agree to that. But, well, it is 6:30 my time, and oh my gosh. Okay, I'll tell you the story right before I go. Okay, because we'll call it towards the end. But so I did a live last night, and me and my husband, we had like a late lunch, so I wasn't hungry. But we kind of have like a traditional kind of home life. I cook his dinners. He's spoiled. Okay, spoiled. All I can tell you. And so, like, I wasn't hungry. I didn't think he was hungry. I saw him munching on stuff. I was like, he's good. So I did a live, and we ended up go 3 hours. I never in a million years thought that I would do that, but I did. And we had a good time. Got to know some of my subscribers, and I like that. And I had people up on panels, so it was just like a thing. And so when I got off, he was like all like fussy. I was like, what is wrong with you? And we went to bed. He didn't say nothing. And this morning he got up and he was like, you didn't fix me dinner last night. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, are you serious? You pouted all night for that. So I got to make sure that I cook him some supper to make up for last night. Spoiled thing. Like, you don't know how to go fix you a sandwich if you're hungry. Anyway, oh Lord. But anyways, well, listen, I really appreciate you all being here. If I repeated a lot of information that you already knew, I apologize, but there was tidbits in there that I hadn't heard, and I just thought I'd pass them on, and just kind of trying to give you like a better idea of like kind of how Grandus was with her kids, and how they're all just kind of loners. It's really kind of sad, but at some point you have to overcome whatever past you have, and decide that you're going to be better for your kids. I mean, I tried to do better for my kids. My kids are trying to do better for theirs. I think that's just the way the world usually works. And then there's those that are raised in drug and alcohol and abuse, and that too continues on, sadly. So let's just all be like-minded and pray that Summer gets some justice soon, and maybe we can hear some new information and maybe get another interview with Grandus. That'd be amazing. And then I'd like to ask Candus some questions, but I don't think they'll talk to me because I would hit them with some hard questions, and I don't think they'll do that. But anyways, thank you so much for being here. See you soon, all of you. I hope I see all of you again. And thank you for the new subscribers. I appreciate that. Thank you for the ones that have been patient with me and putting up with my terrible videos. And I hope that gets better and that we'll all get to know each other more. So I'm going to say adieu to you and you and you, and I hope y'all have a great night. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.